What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is Dr. Hammerstein, and today we do have the first ever flagship killer here in 2022, and this is the Realme GT2 Pro, and I'm super excited to check out this phone. So what I'm going to do is, of course, go through a little bit of some unboxing, go through the key specs and feature, and of course to see if this phone is a real good phone to get. So yes, without further ado, let's just get right into it. So before we do anything, I just want to let you guys know this one is the 12 gigs RAM variant with 256 gigs of storage, and this one here in Malaysia, it does start off at about 2,999 ringgit. But of course, if you do look up for some sales, and they had the launch sale for this, and this one goes for about 2,599 ringgit, which does save you about 400 ringgit. So yes, let's check out what is inside this box. So here we have the manual books and stuff, which of course is pretty standard nowadays. Here's the phone, but we can check this out in a little bit. Let's see what else we have. We have a nice phone case right here. Nice silicone one, black color. We have the cables, no earphones, and we do have the VOOC charger over here, which of course is super cool. They call it the SUPERDART charger, and this one can charge up from 0 all the way to 100%, I think in just about 30 minutes, which of course is insane. 65 watts over here. And let's just check out the phone, which I'm super excited to check out. And this one is the white color variant, very nice and very slick. Let's just peel this off. All right, and looking really nice. It does have a very nice texture to it. If I just bring it up a little bit closer for you guys, you can see that texture here, really nice looking, and it does want to give you that kind of paper-like feel to it, which of course is a little bit interesting. And yes, looking on to this, and of course comparing this to last year's Master Edition and also the GT Pro and also the GT Neo 2, I think in terms of design, Realme has done a really good job over here. Of course, we do have a triple camera setup, which we are going to check out. Dual 50 megapixel, oh, pretty exciting. And of course, you have your signature logo here as well, which I'm super excited to check out. Let me just clear up everything over here. Alright, so let me just set up this phone over here, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright, so here we have it. This is the Realme GT2 Pro, and what I gotta say is, in terms of the size and of course just the feel in hand, it feels really nice. That's what she said. In terms of the weight, it's about 189 grams, not too heavy or not too light either. Very nice to hold, and as I mentioned, and as we look at the sides, it does have more of a curved edge over here, so it's really nice to hold, and also on the sides here, so if you want to rest it on your palms, it's actually quite comfortable for me so far. And of course, like I said, they have that textured back, so you don't have to worry about getting your fingerprint smudges or whatsoever. But yes, this is the white color variant, so definitely do slap on a case or a skin on top of this to make sure that it doesn't kind of decolorize. I know, yes, they did kind of spray some stuff, but you do not want to take the risk of, having in a few months time to make this, kind of yellowish or whatsoever. So definitely put on a case or maybe a nice skin to protect this. But what I gotta say, in terms of the looks and feels really nice in hand. In terms of the display size right here, this one is a 6.7-inch display, and over here we do have a 2K LTPO AMOLED display, and of course in terms of the refresh rate, it can go up all the way to 120 Hz. And yes, I did mention the LTPO display, which of course would help when it comes to battery saving over here. And in terms of the display, yes, the colors do look really nice, very sharp, very contrasty, as you would expect from an AMOLED display, especially from Realme. I did like last year's GT Pro and all that GT Neo 2 stuff. It was really good, and it does follow over here. And of course, the added benefit is that you get an LTPO display, like I mentioned, to save on that battery. And of course, we have, the stereo speaker, one at the bottom. We have your USB-C for your fast charging as well, and also your dual SIM slot. And on the top, we do have your another speaker for your dual stereo speaker setup. And of course, when it comes to the volume rockers, it's on the other side, which is the left side. And of course, when we go on to the power button, it's over on the right side. Very clean, very simple indeed. But one thing I did notice about this phone is that you can't really just click on this to power off your phone. You gotta actually click one on the side and also one on the volume up button over here to click it and hold it for about quite some time, and then only the power menu will come out. Otherwise, you can't just click over here, which of course is a little bit of a bummer, and I don't know why did Realme do this to their phones. But other than that, like I mentioned, very nice solid build and design. And of course, in terms of the front glass over here, it is made out of a Corning Gorilla Glass Victus. So yes, top of the line specs as we can see from here. Definitely on the back it is not plastic, but on the front you get your premium glass over here, which of course is really awesome. Alright, and like I mentioned, let's go on to the display. And of course, like I mentioned, 6.7-inch of display, full AMOLED LTPO, and of course it does look really nice, very sharp colors, deep blacks, and yes, overall a very solid display from Realme over here. Alright, so next thing, let's talk about the stereo speakers that we have on the GT2 Pro. And I actually can't play a lot of this non-copyright music for some reason, because I'm going to play some clip over here, and hopefully this one doesn't get cancelled. Okay, so that is just some sneak preview of how these speakers are. It's very loud, and in terms of the clarity, the crispiness, it's actually very good here on the GT2 Pro. I do listen to a lot of my phones, and of course, I do, check out some videos, listen to some music. And what I've tested so far with the GT2 Pro is actually quite impressive for the price of this, and of course, the specs on this phone as well. Okay, and the next thing that we want to talk about here is the under-display fingerprint scanner. So as we can see, works really fast. All you need to do is, of course, go to the right spot. That's what she said, and it does unlock. And it goes to face unlock as well. Point it to my face. Boom, you're right in. One more time. Boom, you are right into your phone, which of course is really fast. Okay, so next up here, let's talk about the battery and charging. So this phone does come with a nice 5000 milliamps of battery, and it's of course really big for this kind of phone. Of course, it's still very slim, so actually I'm quite impressed with that. And of course, in terms of the charging, it has the 65 watts of the SUPERDART charge, so it's able to charge up from 0 all the way to 100% in just about 33 minutes. Of course, in terms of the battery performance, I haven't really tested it so far, but looking at the GT Neo 2 and of course the GT last year, it's quite decent. It does give you a full day use. Now, because you want to boost it up with the GT, it does have a GT mode, which of course would help in terms of the performance when you're into a lot of gaming or whatsoever. But yes, this is what you're going to get in terms of the battery and charging. Of course, one of the main things that you guys do want to know about this phone is of course the internal specs. And yes, this one here does have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor, the top of the line when it comes to Android phones, the best of the best. And when it comes to the RAM, we do have 12 gigs of RAM and also 256 gigs of storage over here. You don't have any micro SD expansion, which of course is a little bit of a bummer, but then you still get a decent amount of space right here. Now, of course, if we do talk about the other stuff that does come with this phone, this is sort of a very good gaming phone as well, because it does have a stainless steel vapor chamber and a cooling system here to maximize the performance of this phone, which of course I am going to do a gaming test as well to see if this phone does heat up with the kind of intense gaming sessions. Yes, do not worry about that. I did kind of stutter. It is pretty hot here in Malaysia. And of course, this phone is amazing over here in terms of the speed, in terms of the smoothness as well. It's very nice, very slick, and of course with that 120Hz display, it does give it that extra edge as well when it comes to the overall animations. Right, so last but not least, let us talk about those cameras. So starting with a selfie shooter over here, we do have a 32 megapixel f2.4 sensor, and it can record up to 1080p at 30 fps. Of course, if we go on to the rear cameras, which of course is really interesting because we do have a dual 50 megapixel shooter over here. One of them is the Sony IMX766 sensor with OIS, and it does have a 50 megapixel f2.2 other sensor for the ultra wide, and it can go up to 150 degrees field of view over here, which of course is insane. And we do have a 3 megapixel f3.3 microscope sensor, which of course can go up to 40 times of magnification. So let's take some shots over here and just see how good are those cameras. Alright, so starting with the main lens, in terms of the color and also the dynamic range, pretty decent, I would say. In terms of sharpness, pretty accurate, I would say. But of course, with the hand at the front, it's a little bit blurred out. Pretty interesting. Going on to the ultra wide, I'm actually quite impressed with the field of view, and there's not much distortion. But there's of course a problem here with the focusing when you are getting some objects in it. Going on to the 2 times of digital zoom, very good amount of image over here, details, and of course the clarity is very good, and of course the sharpness as well is very decent. Going on to some portrait shots, I wouldn't say it's the best. It does look pretty soft for my liking, and it's actually quite hard to get the edge detection on my object over here. Going on to some selfie shots, I do look pretty good over here, so I can give this an A+. And let's go on to the microscope feature, very, very interesting. This is the soul stone found on my Infinity Gauntlet. And over here, if you look closely, you can actually look at the Black Widow and Gamora inside here. Very, very impressive. Alright, so that is it with the Realme GT2 Pro, and what I can say is that yes, I am very impressed with this phone so far. It does look really, really nice and slick, and of course in terms of the specs, it does look pretty insane. Of course, I will do a gaming test on this and also want to see how good is the battery as well, because I do feel that people that want to buy this phone want to know this kind of stuff. Of course, do check out my channel and also click the like and subscribe button to get up to date with my future videos. Also, if you did enjoy this video, do click the like and subscribe button down below as well. And of course, do sound yourself in the comment section down below. Do also follow me on my social as well on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and also here on YouTube at Dr. Hummus Tech. So that is it. This is Dr. Hummus Tech. Stay safe, take care, and wash those hands.